Now the point is, even though the teacher said that through contemplation you purify the mind and come to a point where you shall realize the truth. The student is not purifying. He is not contemplating. He is trying to understand what the teacher says, the raw words that are coming out of his mouth. He is trying to grasp it with his rational intellect. This is not the fault of the student. He had been studying all the different subjects in the world as objective scientists or sciences, and they were only to understand, is to have the knowledge. If you can repeat exactly as the textbook has said, the great scientist's declarations, you are an authority on that subject. If you can repeat exactly as Einstein said, the relativity theory, everybody will applaud you. Ha ha, what an authority on this subject, relativity. But what is your experience? Shut up. It's all calculations. See? You need not know it from your experience. You have only to have the information and repeat it. This is our samskara. This is a technique of understanding knowledge. When you come to the Vedantic classroom, even though the teacher may repeatedly say that it is something to be experienced and not explained, but the teacher is helpless, he has to explain. That is only an aid to your understanding. But you understand it and come to the conclusion that yes, ho gaya, ban chuka kaam, moksha ho gaya, mera samadhi lag gaya, bas, and live the rotten life of ego and selfishness and cruelties, etc. Okay? You have to not only know the scripture matter, must reach there. Now how am I to reach? Through contemplation. What happens through contemplation? Through contemplation the mind becomes purer and purer. And the purest mind automatically experiences the higher state. Pure mind automatically is not acceptable to the intellect because you are not going beyond the intellect and trying to experience what the teacher is talking. You are still in the level of the intellect and is trying to understand. So there is only one way. When the student is not grasping, talk to him, and we have to talk to him at the intellectual level because he is standing at the intellectual level, refusing to budge an inch. So the teachers are always compelled to explain to them at the intellectual level of what? Of that which lies beyond the intellect. This is the art of communication in spiritual path. Therefore the mystics has to always give examples, analogies, various methods by which it can be communicated. Even then people will only understand that story and say, hey, nice story, Swamiji. What does it mean, the story? I don't know. He is not able to even apply that story to himself. Here is one of the most effective metaphor by which he is trying to explain how when the mind is purified slowly, at the highest pitch of its purification, it itself emerges out as Brahman. There is no other thing. That which is now playing as a mind is Brahman functioning as a thought flow. When the thought ceases, mind ends. What remains is Brahman, which effectively explains by this metaphor, and that is what we are now.
Yatha suvarnam putapakashodhitam tyaktva malam swatmagunam samricchati tatha manasattva rajastamo malam dhyanena santyajya sameti tattvam.
Yatha, just as Swarnam, gold. Gold looks very dull when its clarity is very high. It looks dull, copper-like, brass-like. When it is mixed with too much of other metals in it. This gold is to be purified. How do you purify gold? Just as you purify sugar. In order to make clear and clean, what is it called? Clean liquid of sugar? Syrup. Clean syrup. The sugar that we generally use with tea and coffee, by itself is not pure enough. It will be very cloudy when you make the syrup. The syrup can be really transparent if the sugar is being purified. Now, how to purify sugar? A gold purification you may not know. Sugar purification. So you make a solution of the sugar and start on a soft fire to boil it. As the sugar water or the liquid or solution is boiling, plum, 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 you get a katori of milk. And with a spoon, take 1 spoon of milk and spread it on the boiling and wait. Boom, boom, boom. It starts effervescent, bubbles up, froth, and the froth comes up. With another spoon, you clean it into a katori. Keep it there. Another spoon. You must see how the mother does. If you do it, the milk will be all over. Wait. Again it froths forth. Thus, every time it froths forth, we collect it and throw it away. That is the dirt and the filth. And thus, sputter, clean sugar is made. And out of which, when the syrup is made, the syrup is transparent. We will not know whether the bottle contains the syrup or not unless you drink it. You take a wait, you can see through. In the same way, metal, the raw gold that comes out of the rocks is mixed up with the rocks. They have to be powdered and then separate them by water. The heavier metal will go down, and the cotton, it has been made to run through a blanket where the powder, sand and soil will will flow out, and the gold will get stuck up. That gold that is stuck up in that blanket is brushed out, and that gold, which has got copper color, is put in a crucible. Crucible means clay pot, and it is heated. very high degree. As it is boiling, just as in the sugar you put milk, they put borax, and the borax mingles with this melted gold and precipitates the various metal contents in the gold, and it froths up, and the froth is removed, and the gold still goes on boiling. Again and again you put borax, until at last all the dirt and the filth in the anything other than gold, which is in mixture with the gold in nature, are removed. The carat of the quality of the gold increases. And in Government of India, we generally sell only gold 99.9 purity. We don't believe in the other copper-colored. Our ladies also won't use copper-colored gold. Nowadays they have started because it is a little cheap. They want really golden, yellow-colored gold. Now, what I wanted to say was, that example is taken by Shankara. Yadha, just as suvarna gold putapaka shodhitam, it is purified by heat. When it is heat and is boiling, and yes, bubbling, you put borax, and it throws forth, and it is removed. In the same way, through bhakti and karma, when your mind is turned towards the Lord, all the old, dirty, filthy vasanas that you had froths up, and they go out, and thus continue doing this earlier sadhana to purify mind. Tyaktva malam, all mala, all the dirt in it, mala, dirt. Dirt means something other than itself. So everything that has gone into any composition there, into the gold, all of them become precipitated, the chemistry of things, and they are removed. And thus when they are removed, swa atma gunam samrichhati. The gold itself becomes atma guna, its own property. It's not something that came from outside, that the yellow color and the right specific gravity will automatically come to it, which is its true nature. But because it was in contact with iron and copper and lead, it had more specific gravity, it was heavier, it had no shine, it looked like copper. And when it is purified, not that the gold in the crucible gets this color because of borax, it is not from outside, but its own true nature comes out. It looks really yellow in color with its true specific gravity of gold. In the same way, tatha, similarly, mana sattva rajas tamo malam, is the mind is at this moment impure because of the incursion of tamas, rajas, and even sattva is also a guna. Sattvic vasanas are expressing. Therefore the mind is not in its true nature. This is sattvic mind. What is the difference? One has got sattvic mind, you have got rajasic mind, I am tamasic. Equal. Only what is there is different, that is all. It is not pure mind, that is what it meant. So that the mala, the other thing other than the mind which is conditioning the mind, sattva, Rajas and Tamas, when they are removed. Tamas is removed by injecting into your mind or into that individual more and more desires. Then he becomes more and more active. When he has become extremely active like an American, blood pressure going up, he has no more any concern for others. He wants to aggrandize and collect. For what? You don't know. He is now. And if you ask him to keep quiet, he says, Swamiji, if I stop working, I will die in 2 days. I can't. This is Rajas at the maximum. When he comes to that Rajas maximum, the spiritual master advises him, Beta, keep on dynamically working as before, but remove from you ego and egocentric desires. When these two are removed and acting on, the existing Rajoguna quietens and Sattoguna increases. When the Sattoguna increases, you get a vision of a larger possibility in life, a new way of looking at things. And that, again, you continue your contemplation. And in the contemplation, you go beyond even sattva. And the mind becomes purest mind, which is not conditioned either by rajas or tamas or sattva. Purest mind is Brahman. Brahman disturbed by the gunas is you and your mind. This mind is to be purified. Therefore, dhyanena santejya sameti tattvam. Through dhyan, when it has become sattvic, you can do the contemplation. In contemplation, you go even beyond the sattva. The mind merges. And you and I discover that what I thought before my mind, that my mind itself is Brahman, the reality, the pure consciousness. Thus, through purification of the mind, you come to enter into the seat of contemplation, and through contemplation, even the sattvic, noblest of the virtues of the mind is transcended. And it reveals itself, just as the dreamer wakes up to realize that I am the waker. The mind itself becomes the Brahman, the reality.
Nirantarabhyasavashat pakvam mano brahmani liyate yada tada samadhi savikalpa varjitah Svatodvayananda rasanubhavakah.
Thus, when you practice, now you have been shown the road map. Now, if you pursue that path, it's not somewhere in a different place and time. You pursue in yourself the Brahman, the reality, God is with you now, but it is functioning as a monster. It appears that he is a monster because he is playing as your mind. Purify your mind. The very devil, the rascal of today, rediscovers I am Brahman. The great looter of the jungle, when he reached out to this Rama Tattva, reached out to experience the Rama factor, became Sri Valmiki. There is a Valmiki waiting in every one of you. At this moment you are a looter. You are doing it. And you have got a feeling that I am fulfilling my duties towards my wife and children. Bhagavan has given me a wife and children, and my father was doing it, my grandfather was doing it, and therefore I am doing it. What is wrong in it? So Narada gives him a mental shock. By doing so, there is a lot of sin, and for the sin you will have to suffer years in the Naraka, in the hell. And but it is all for my wife and children, not for myself. Very good. Go home. I will sit here. Believe me, I will not run away. Go home and ask your wife and children how much percentage of that hell they will share. Right? Because you have achieved maximum amount of hell. How much will they share? I went and asked, the wife said, "Kya karte ho?" Hell, that is not mine. But I have killed many people, I have looted many people, I have made them cry. That is all your duty. I have been a corrupt officer all because of you, Amma. You wanted more saris and more ornaments. Therefore, I have been a very corrupt man, and therefore I have earned. I never knew that it will take me to hell. That is all your responsibility. You should have thought over it, when you got married me. And it is you who created all the children. Look after them. It is your duty. He asked all the children. He said, "No, Papa, I am not going to share it." Suddenly the man thought, yeah, for them out of love I have been doing everything in order to make them happy, and they are not ready to share. Vairagya. Maximum Vairagya. Suddenly he found the whole life is a hollow. So he came and surrendered to Narada. Narada said, "You come on. This is the lot everywhere. Ajao, mere saath." When he saw two beautiful trees, he said, "Ye dono ka beech mein baith. Ram Ram kaho." He said, "I can't repeat Ram." And this looter was a Kerala man. No, Narada asked him to come with him, and he came up to Bihar. There it is that he did the tapas. So he said that I don't understand Ram, I can't pronounce Ram. Good. So Narada said, "Look, you just repeat Mare, Mare, Mare. Rama is not pronounced. Mare, that I can pronounce. Why? Mare in Malayalam means trees. He was in the jungle and therefore he knew that. Mare. Mare, 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 Mare. Mare, 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 if you repeat, you unconsciously start repeating Ram Ram. It is not the sound of the mantra that takes you high, but the thoughts that are associated with it. So when he is told that Mare Mare, and that is the supreme reality, he had the blind faith because he has no intellect to think. His great faith, he accepted, sat down and repeated. Narada went away. He has got his missionary work and therefore program, according to program. He went. And in that program, he again, after years, came back to Bihar. Because always, good people avoid Bihar. Now, he came again. When he came and was walking, he suddenly heard, "Hey, what is the whispering here?" From an ant hill. Therefore, he is called Valmiki. Valmikam, ant hill. Now, what I wanted to say was, it is not the word, it is not but where your thought. And the thoughts will not go to the higher so long as you are fascinated by the vociferous tendencies of the mind, because of which it runs in attachment to the world of OET, objects, emotions and thoughts. So then here, Yatha manas nirandara abhyasa vashat taditham. Itham das, nirandara abhyasa, purification of the mind, nirandaram, continuous practice of it. Not on Sunday going to church will not help you. It's good for the church, but not at all good for you. Your spiritual unfoldment cannot come by that. Nirandara, continuous, Ishvara Smaran, continuous asserting that I am that self, in various problems that rise up, immediately rise away and be a sakshi for it, merely a witness in various agitations of the physical demands of the mind and the intellect's confusions. Stand apart. Thus, nirandara abhyasa vashad taditham. Itham, thus, as we explained till now, by such continuous practice. Pakvam manaha. When the mind is pakvam, ripened. Ripened means purified. Brahmani liyade yada. That is the time when the mind liyade dissolves away, merges into that higher state of consciousness. Just as when in the waking, you are tired of waking state and therefore you go to bed. And there you leave all the other preoccupations, physical, mental, and intellectual. When the thoughts also has given up, various attachments and hungers and thirsts and lusts and greeds, everything stops. The mind has become quieted, wanting nothing but sleep and sleep and sleep alone. The waker's mind, lean, merges with the state of sleep, and you fall into sleep. Those who are not able to give up these, they say that I could not sleep a wink last night. Why? My back pain. You are identified with it. Or my sorrow in my mind, bereavement, I can't sleep. Or an intellectual problem. You want to do this, but then how to get it done? It is in the body, nothing is available. So the whole night I could not sleep. Why? The draperies have not come. The Krishna, the Sardarji is not coming. Krishna is to be put in. You understand? Anything, if you can't give up, if you stay there as a sakshi, it drops off, dies away by itself. And you merge into the next state of consciousness. Next stage of, a state of life called sleep. Here also, when the mind is pakvam, well purified, well ripened, liyate, dissolves away into Brahmani, in that higher state of consciousness. Yada tada, at that time, samadhi savikalpa varjita. It is at that time you can call samadhi, where the buddhi is sama, not a wave of thought arising. You are not thinking of the nature of the reality, nor are you entertaining the deep desire to realize him, because you have realized, you have reached your destination. Till you sleep, you want to sleep, want to sleep, want to sleep. And after sleep, reach to sleep, no more want to sleep. Why? I am asleep. Thus, when you have reached therein, no vikalpa at all, no thoughts at all. Till then you have to keep the thought of the nature of reality to give up all other thoughts. You think of Krishna, 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 a devotee was to think so that other thoughts are removed. And ultimately, even that Krishna thought ends. These all vikalpas, all thoughts end. And that state is called nirvikalpa. Instead of using that familiar word nirvikalpa, here he uses such a phrase that you set you thinking. vikalpa rahita mind. A mind where there is no vikalpa, no thoughts at all, neither of the world outside, nor of the nature of the reality. Savikalpa varjina. Ordinarily our mind is with savikalpa, thoughts. Ordinary man, worldly man, always savikalpa, with all his thoughts are of the outer world. Now a seeker starts controlling and regulating the thoughts, not of the outside, but of the reality. There the meditation is savikalpa, with thoughts. I want to reach, I want to reach. And what is this name? Jati Niti Kula. I hope you have all learned it, no? Even now you can't. Shall I ask my chair to do it? Because he was always here. So all these, that savikalpa, samadhi, quietening the mind through these thoughts. And when you reach there, the mind is ended, there is no more any thoughts. That is called nirvikalpa samadhi. Mind has been quietened and not even that, even the last thought is thoughted. And next thought is not thoughting. Mind is quiet, complete. And a quiet mind is no mind at all. Mind has merged into that state. Sato advayanandarasanubhavakaha. And that state is a condition wherein you come to experience your own true nature, Atman, which is Ananda Rasas Anubhavakaha, that gives you as a gift the pure state of bliss. Advaya, not because there is anything objective there. It is your own nature. Continue.
Samadhinanena samastvasana granther vinashokhila karmanashah antarbahis sarvata eva sarvada Swarupa vispurtirayatnata syat.
Supposing, Swamiji, supposing, by accident I reached there. I have no hopes of reaching there. But supposing one day, not now, after my retirement, when the girls are all married away and the son is already started kicking me, at that time, Buddha Martini, and you yourself here, their impatience for you to die. Then you say that, all right, Bhagavan, my Guruji पहले ही कहा था मेरे से, ये सब शाश्वत नहीं है, वही परमात्मा है, तो मैं परमात्मा का पास turn. After getting disgusted with the world, so that all the sorrows that you suffer in the world are the sweet call of the Lord to turn your attention to us. If life is all happiness, who cares for God? Even with all these sorrows, because of your dullness of the intellect, you don't recognize that it is a sorrow, and you don't want to leave this for the higher. These little pleasures are sufficient. So, when money gone, business gone, become Buddha, Buddhi. Even there is no time to kick the wife because there is no energy to kick. So you will have to call somebody. There are Maro inko. But earlier हम ही कर रहे थे, अभी मेरे से नहीं होगा जो ऐसा stage आके nobody really cut you, and you don't want the world. I don't know why I tucked on to this. Hey Bhagavan, so Siddhabari. The call of Siddhabari. Till then when they were young and moving about, Swamiji, tiny, kya kare, business. Now all business is gone. Swamiji, aane ka ichha hai, bas paisa nahi. Think? So by the when paisa ho to tab kyun nahi aaye? Oh, time for bada business tha, bada work, too much of duty. ये वर्ल्डली ड्यूटी है ना, समझिए ड्यूटी, अभी भी ड्यूटी देख के बैठो ना, समझिए ड्यूटी देख के कुछ नहीं है, सब छोड़ दिया मेरे को, तो अकेला है हम. It goes on. It is nothing criticizing any individual. It is a common lot of all people. Whom God wants to bless you, He gives you first a packet. A beautiful packet of chosen sorrows, not ordinary sorrows. That even others who have no kindness in their heart, they also start saying, "Ayo, poor fellow, he is suffering from it. Huh? Wife has left him, children are kicking him, he is almost in the street, and he is sick also. Hey, Bhagavan, aang nahi hai." He has a better eyesight, and therefore it's always like that. So then, samadhina anena samadhina, by this process of quietening the mind, which is called samadhi, samastha vasana, all your vasana. Why? When the mind is quiet, ego is ended. When ego is not there, what can the vasana do? What is that? The warrant of arrest has come for the Swami for the murder that he committed. As an example. Don't feel that. I'm not autobiographical. It's an example. I committed a murder because some of you deserve it. Police caught me, and a warrant of arrest came. Early morning, the policeman came with a warrant of arrest. Brahmacharis are sitting there in the veranda, like house flies, sitting there quietly. The policeman came and, "Hey, तुम्हारे गुरुजी बुला." The Brahmacharis look at each other and say, "आप अंदर जाके बात कर लो. You are allowed to go in." And he goes there inside and discovers that the previous night, as Swamis are always like that, cheated the whole world. Why? He died. He had already only 20% pressure in the heart in the previous night. He knew that the police is coming and, yeah. In the night, he quietly died, making no noise, quietly died. Even brahmacharis came to know only afterwards. Ye kya, aaj to uthe hi nahi. So then they opened the door. Swami, Swami, 7 बजे हो गया, 7 बजे हो गया, भजन. Then they discovered Swamiji is nirvikalpa samadhi. You understand? Now, this is at that time, the policeman is coming. Warrant of arrest. What can you do? The policeman quietly goes away. And reports the matter. But Swamiji is gone. What can the government do? What can the Supreme Court do? Nobody can do anything. Close the file. Criminal deceased, file closed. Though he did the crime, he deserves punishment. But the poor Swami cannot be punished. Why? He escaped. The one who did the crime, he is no more available for the local police to catch. In the 17th century, 16th century, in England, in such a case, the Lord has done a mistake, he is to be punished. He tells one of the tenants, "Hey, Idhara, go to jail in my name." Substitution is possible in the 16th century England. And his family will be looked after by me. You go. In my name, suffer. And the tenant also feels that, "Dekho, heaven has come. I was praying for this only." What? He was working 18 hours a day. Now jail mein to ananda se reh sakta hai. Food will come regular timing. Government guest. And the family and children are all looked after by the Lord. My master will look after him. So no worry, no anxiety. राम राम करने के लिए बड़ा अच्छा मौका मिल गया. भगवत कृपा देखो. He understands that way. Nowadays it is not so. So if the Swami dies and the warrant of arrest cannot be served, they can't catch one or two of you brahmachari. इधर आओ. तुम्हारे गुरु है ना? चले. No. It cannot be substituted. It's only the man who did can be punished. Similarly, the ego in his kartrutva, bhoktritva, abhiman, with his vanity that I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, it is he who created the vasanas. The vasanas can jump only on him. But he is not available. What can the vasanas? Thus when the ego is ended, when the mind is dissolved, the ego is ended. When the jiva is no more, there is no more any vasanas. There is no field for the vasanas to exhaust. To function. Samasta vasana. Grandher vinasha. Now vasana is not there. Then the hridaya grandhi, the limitations on you. Avidya, kama, karma. All these bondages. Hridaya grandhi has been snapped asunder. Akhila karmanasha. And all ego-prompted selfish actions end. Because in him there is no more sense of individuality. I, or the sense of I want, desire. Because he is experiencing such infinite bliss in himself. The world outside is redundant to him. He cannot yield anything extra to him. Therefore there is no desire. Thus without ego and egocentric desires he acts on in the world outside. Those actions are not called actions. Actions are actions that are prompted by your selfishness and your ego and vanity. So all karma nasha. Vasana is ended. The spring of all activities are vasanas. Therefore desire and actions end, and all egocentric activities thereafterwards also end. Not that the man of perfection will just sit down like a broken furniture in one corner. He will work, but his work, all his actions are without ego or selfish desires. He doesn't want anything, but he tries to help the society, the community. It is a concretization of his infinite sense of love. All actions are undertaken with love. Just as a mother looks after the child out of love, not because of the payment that he gets or about the duty. No. She is ready to do any sacrifice necessary to look after for the comfort of the child, suffers themselves, but for the comfort and the happiness of the children in their future. It is an action of concretization of the love. Thus, karma nashaha. Andarbahir sarvata eva sarvada. Sarvada at all times. Sarvataha in all directions. Andarbahir, within, without. He has awakened to a new dimension of consciousness. Just as from the dream when you wake up, the waking state is sarvataha. All sides is the waking world. Sarva type all the time. It is in your waking time, in the waking state. Andarbahir, within also I am the waker, outside also the waking world. In the same way, in this new state of consciousness when you go, that Atman, the self, is not sitting in the heart as a lot, spring of life. That is how you started. But when you once reach there, you come to realize that this Atman, the self, alone is real. There is no world of plurality playing about, which were seen only by the ego. Just as the dreamer alone can see the dream, but the moment you wake up, you see nothing of the dream, but it is all the waking world in the same way. But once you come to this God state of consciousness, it is nothing but God and God alone, that reality alone, the Brahman alone, nothing of the plurality of the world, which was familiar for the ego, is being there to disturb him or to even to perceive. Swarupa vispurti ayattanata syad. That you come to that Swarupa vispurti. You come to wake up to that your own true nature. Ayattanataha. There is no yatna, no effort. Effort is only to reach up to that. Then there is no effort. And that is true. Up till you reach sleep, you have to struggle to get sleep. Why the struggle? To withdraw the mind from all its preoccupations. When the mind has come to a certain quality of detachment from everything, ayatnataha, without any effort on your part, you fall into sleep. Falling, there is no effort. Going to the fourth floor is effort. Getting into the room is an effort. Pulling a chair and getting on to the window sill is an effort. Open the window is an effort. Then slowly turn your center of gravity towards outside is an effort. But once you have started falling, no more effort, isn't it? That is why we always say, fall into sleep. We don't say that march into sleep, approach sleep, dash into sleep. No. Reach sleep. No. Then what do you do? Fell into sleep. Effortless. In the same way, when you have purified the mind, there is no more any effort. Next moment you realize, I am this consciousness only. I don't know why for millions of years I have been thinking that I am a limited creature. And then I have been running after the sense objects that are available, not available. You see, whenever you are available, you don't want it. The whole life was running after things which are not available. Why did I run after all these things? I'm wanting some happiness and peace. But I am happiness. It is I who give happiness to others. I am not a recipient of happiness. And yet, not knowing, I was a beggar. Thus you awake into that pure state. Without any effort, ayatnata syad. Without any yatna or effort, you fall into that great state.
Shrute shatagunam vidyat mananam mananadapi nididhyasam lakshagunam anantam nirvikalpakam
in order that the student's intellect may understand, he is giving a relative value to things. I know he says, Shrutehe, Shrotra, Shrutam, hearing, listening. That's what you are doing now. So Shankara is telling the students who are in front of him, you have heard, no doubt. I am happy that you heard. Glad that you are sitting down quietly and listening to me. But 100 times more effective is mananam. When I have gone, you sit down and think what you heard, what you studied, and try to make it your own. This independent thinking is unavoidable. And this independent thinking of each individual, of what he has heard or studied, is 100 times more powerful in remaking your personality, your individuality, than Shravana, hearing. Because in hearing, it all depends upon the mood of the day. Certain days you don't understand anything. And the poor teacher thinks that, oh, follow them up. What nice people. They are all listening regularly. They are always meditating upon. When will it end? How long more? It is already 8 o'clock. Thank God. Thank God. What will be there for dinner? Mananam going on. What you have heard, on that you have to reflect upon until those ideas become your own. At this moment, all those ideas are belonging to the Rishi, belong to the Upanishads, the scriptures. The teacher said so. It must become, I am understood it. As I know it. Mananam. Mananad, more powerful than manana, is nididhyasana, contemplation. Lakshaduna, guna. Shravana, 100 times more powerful is manana. 100,000 times powerful is meditation. Jati niti kula gutta rupaka. Not repeating. So by reflection you understand the word meaning, the significance, what he is indicating. These are all arrow marks. And you lift your mind in that direction. Hold them in that direction. Savikalpa. Anandam. Infinite are the beauty and the graciousness of nirvikalpa. As a result of this, the thoughts quieten because you have dropped all the objects of the world outside and the mind is becoming nirvikalpa. Therefore, Lakshagunam Anandam Nirvikalpakam. Thus, the various values, evaluation. All that you are doing now is Shravana. 0 guna. 100 times this 0, no, it's not 0, 1. Shravana is 1. 100 times that is manana. 100,000 times is meditation. Infinite are the benefit of nirvikalpa, where the last thought is ended. You have awakened to the higher state of consciousness.
Nirvikalpa samadhina sphutam Brahma tattvam avagamyate dhruvam Nanyatha chalataya manogatehe Pratyaya प्रत्ययान्तरविमिश्रितं भवेत्.
Nirvikalpa samadhina sputam. The clearest experience of the highest reality can come only through nirvikalpa samadhi. Quietening the mind with no thought at all. That is the moment when you glide into, fall into, awake into that higher state of consciousness. Sputam very clearly, with no traces of doubt. Unconditioned, the pure self can be experienced. Bahya tattvam avagamyate dhruvam. But dhruvam, surely you can come to experience that higher state other than the Bhakya Vastus, which you have been knowing all. That pure self can be enjoyed. Nirvikalpa samadhina sputam Bhakya tattva avagamyate dhruvam. That tattva, reality behind all the objects of the world outside the substratum, dhruvam nishchitam. Beyond all traces of doubt, you can come to know about it. Through samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi. Na anyatha. Sarji, this nirvikalpa samadhi is not necessary. Deep study in a library with the help of a guide, that is all that is needed. It's all not necessary. Or discussion, study groups, group discussion. Thus I can increase my confusions. Or go to a teacher and whatever he says, just swallow it. But that you have not changed your mind. You only heard it, accepted it. But it is not rejected with your inner personality, inner thought processes. Cannot. Nanyadha, there is no other way to reach there. It is a bottleneck. Everybody can start practicing karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, hatha yoga, regulating the food, going for yatra, attending the camps of Swami Chinmayananda. All are methods, no doubt. Temple, ring the bell, and confuse all others. You know, that's everything. Chandan, vibhuti, prasad. All are in it. But these are all only purification of the mind. Actually, to awaken to that higher state of consciousness is only by nirvikalpa samadhi. Na anyadha, anya prakarena. There is no other way to do it. Chalata manogate. Why is it so? Anyadha, the other way of understanding is intellectual understanding. This is swarupa anusandhan, your own nature, you are awakening. How can the dreamer through thought understand the waking state? He was a genius. Such a dreamer was never in the recent times ever came into the dream. And he sat down and thought of it. And he said, there is a waking state and I am in the waking state. Who said? The dreamer. Where? In the dream. Saying that I had experience. Experience of what? The waking. Then what happened? Waker met me and I said, give me two more children. Tathastu said, and I came. When the dreamer meets the waker, the dreamer disappears into the waker. They cannot be two. At the intellectual level, you and I can understand, appreciate, get a vague notion that there is something to be searched and reached out. That is possible. But by the intellect, if you come to conclusion and declare that that is the truth, that is where many philosophies arise. Pandit to Pandit, they have got opinions different. Why? Opinions are intellect. So each one deserves or explains it according to his samskara. The Christian asks the Christian Padri will say that nothing but the Son of God, Jesus alone, saves. And what about my Vishnu and my Shiva and Rama? Yes, all bogus. That is all devil worship. Have you seen Jesus? Have you experienced Jesus? The one who has experienced the Jesus Tattva, he will not say such a stupid thing because he suddenly realizes, oh, there is only one Tattva. Similarly, in Hinduism, Rama, I am a Rama Bhakta. I am a Krishna Bhakta. The Krishna Bhaktas will never say Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna first, then only Rama. This is in your mind, these differences between Krishna and Rama, both of them are laughing. Why? Because both of them are me only. I came in two different periods of time to guide my people, and here you are. Hare Krishna movement. Don't say Hare Rama movement. I am Krishna movement. Okay? So my God is only God. Do you mean to say Shaivites will keep quiet? I take his Trishul. Because Shiva has got this Trishul. Kya kaha tu? Bham bole. Bas. And interreligious God is all, they are not searching for the truth. They are only trying to intellectualize and stop there, which is one of the greatest blocks for spiritual unfoldment. It is helpful in the beginning, like a ladder. You want to go to the roof, the ladder is helpful. But if you stand on the ladder itself and say, this is the roof, your ladder is useless, my ladder is the roof. Both are standing on the roof ladder. It's a means, not an end in itself. End is in your direct experience of the higher state. Therefore the teacher says, na anyatha chalataya manogate. This mental conclusion that you arrive at, however logical it may be, it cannot be the same. In the same person, it cannot be the same. Sri Ramacharita continue doing, afterward, slowly turns to Gita, and from there to Vedanta. Why? His mind is purifying. As he purifies, he sees clearly that Rama, Sita, Lakshmana and Hanumanji are all symbolisms of a greater truth. And that truth is revealed when he comes to experience it. Similarly, Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita. All these intellectual conclusions can never be the final reality because chalataya, mind is constantly pratyayandara vimishritam bhaved. If the experience or the explanation of that higher reality will become mishritam. Saguna and Nirguna together. Krishna Tattva, Rama Tattva. And Rama and Krishna you don't leave. Then add Tattva. In that tattva, there is no Rama or Krishna. They were all conveying containers containing the truth. Whether in a silver cup or in a clay cup or in a copper cup, you take milk, you swallow milk and throw it in the cup. No, a silver cup, when you take milk, what satisfaction. Why? Because I can't even lift the cup because of the heat. In cooler mein, even boiling milk, you can lift it because the heat doesn't come out. Think, milk is milk. And this is only the conveyor, the container. Container may be different in size and shape and metal, but the contents is one and the same. Similarly, whether it is in the Rama form or Krishna form, Devi form or Shiva form, Jesus or Allah, the essence is one and the same. What? The spring of consciousness, which is one without a second, all-pervading, eternal. Brahma tattvamasi bhavaya. And when you come to that nirvikalpa state of experiencing that state of consciousness or pure state of consciousness, then alone the reality, then alone you are relieved from all bondages. Nanyadham, not by any other method. Because all your intellectualization, philosophizing, they are all at the intellectual level. These intellectual viewpoints will be changed from person to person. Why? From time to time in the same person. Because mind is chalataya, is ever in disturbance. Therefore it cannot be one and the same.